Sawadee-ka, welcome to Pad Thai Kitchen. So one of the most popular yet most challenging Thai dishes to make at home is Pad Thai. Over the years, I've had people telling me all sorts of Pad Thai struggles, but it usually has to do with the rice noodles. They're either too soggy or too clumpy or broken into bits or too hard or something with the noodles, and rice noodles can be challenging. But I am here to offer a solution. I'm going to make a type of Pad Thai today that uses a different kind of noodles that is so much more forgiving and so much easier to work with, but tastes just as good in my opinion, and tastes very much like the classic Pad Thai. It's what we call in Thai Pad Thai Woon Sen. Pad Thai means Pad Thai, and Woon Sen means glass noodles. And I'm also going to share with you a special trick to amp up the flavor of your Pad Thai. Let's get started. Let's start with the sauce. Now you can use the same sauce as the classic Pad Thai, but let's go over it real quick. I'm going to start with palm sugar into this pot that I finely chopped. And I'm going to melt this down and caramelize it a bit. By the way, if you want to make Pad Thai even easier, the best thing you can do for yourself is make a bunch of sauce in advance. It'll last forever in the fridge. And I do have a separate video for that I will link to below. And if you don't have palm sugar, light brown sugar will also work in equal amounts. Okay, once it starts to melt, the edges might start to brown, so you can stir it so that it browns equally. Keep the heat sort of low so it doesn't catch you off guard. It is not necessary to caramelize the sugar, but if you do, you'll just add a little bit of depth of flavor, like making a bit of a caramel. Okay, here we go. You don't want to get it to a point where it's bitter. So once it's sort of darkened a little bit like this, I'm going to turn my heat off and add water. And it'll do that. It's been a long time since I've made this. It will do that, and it's totally normal. You're gonna have some undissolved sugar after you add the water. Not a problem. By the time you get to it, it'll probably be dissolved by then. And if it's not, just cook it a little bit longer then. I'm gonna now add my fish sauce and some tamarind paste, which I homemade, which I highly recommend, especially for Pad Thai. It is so much tastier when you home make it. And I do have a recipe for that I will link to below. And then this just needs to sit until you're ready to use it. How easy is that? Now the star are glass noodles. As always, I'm using Pailin brand glass noodles, which is our old friend and sponsor. And these are premium glass noodles that are made from 100% mung bean starch. That is important because when cheaper brands mix in cornstarch or sometimes pea starch, other starches, it reduces the elasticity of the noodles. So you won't have quite the same chew. The noodles snap and break more easily. The texture is quite different. And all you have to do with these is soak them in room temp water for about 7 minutes. No need to plan in advance like you would with rice noodles, so that's another win for the glass noodles. And also they are lower glycemic index and lower in calories. That's 2 wins for the glass noodles. While that is going, let's look at our other prep. Now, in the spirit of easier Pad Thai, I've simplified the prep a little bit, leaving only the stuff that I consider important. Garlic and shallots, pressed tofu, you can use extra firm if you don't have it, some chili flakes if you want it spicy, eggs, roasted peanuts, bean sprouts, garlic chives, you can use chopped green onions if you don't have it, and lime. I've left out sweet preserved radish and dried shrimp, which many people can't find, and I've adjusted my sauce ratio just slightly to make up for that, and I'll talk more about that in the written blog post. And finally, protein. Of course, Pad Thai, the classic protein is always shrimp, but today I'm using head-on shrimp, which I've peeled and deveined, but I am keeping the heads because I'm going to show you how to use these to amp up the flavor of your Pad Thai. The first thing I'm going to do might surprise you. I'm going to render some shrimp fat from our tasty shrimp heads and use that oil to cook our Pad Thai to amp up the shrimp flavor. It is something that we do in Thailand, and this sort of Pad Thai is called Pad Thai man gung. Man gung meaning shrimp fat, and that's why some Pad Thai is orange in color. But if you see orange Pad Thai in America, it's because they're using ketchup or paprika, likely not because they're actually using shrimp fat. But anyway, this is very easy. In my pot here, I'm going to add some oil. However, when you do it at home, you just do this in whatever pan, the wok you're going to use to cook your Pad Thai. And don't need to dirty 2 dishes. But because I want you to be able to see the beautiful color that we're gonna have, I wanna do it in something white because my wok is black. In goes the shrimp heads. And you can do as many shrimp heads as you like. You can make a ton of this oil, keep it in the fridge, and we're simply going to cook this, pressing the head so that some of that orange tamale comes out. And you're just slowly cooking it, pressing the heads until it's all cooked through, and the smell is gonna start to change as the shrimp heads brown and have that sort of grilled smell. That's when you know it's done. Takes only a few minutes. Okay, so that's it. The smell is starting to change and have that sort of like browned grilled smell. You can take it a little bit further if you like, but I'm happy with that. Turning it off and then drain it, and that's it. By the time you're ready for the glass noodles, they are going to be ready for you, which is why these are great for weeknight cooking. So I've drained them and I'm just going to cut them in half just to shorten them a little bit, make it easier for tossing. There we go. All right. Wok on. We're going to start, as always, by searing a protein, the shrimp, but this time we're gonna sear shrimp in shrimp fat. It's gonna be the shrimpiest shrimp in the world. There we go. Then when they're halfway done, ooh, nice and brown, give them a flip. And once the shrimp are done, we can take them out of the pan. I'm gonna add just a little bit more of this oil. You may not need to, just depends on what's left in here. And turn the heat back on, just medium for now, so that we can add shallots, garlic, and chili flakes into this stage. And also pressed tofu, so you can give them a chance to sort of sear and heat up. If you're using extra firm tofu, by the way, it's a little softer than pressed. You might want to sear those off separately to make sure they don't crumble and break in the wok. So once the garlic starts to brown, which you can barely see with all the orangey goodness, in goes the noodles. And then give that a quick toss. And all of the sauce goes in, which for me, all the sugar has dissolved. And keep that cooking until all the sauce has been absorbed. And because of glass noodles, I'm gonna add just a splash extra water. They do need a little bit more water to cook. It's very hard to overcook or undercook glass noodles, which is why these are great beginner noodles for pad thai. And if you're using 100% mung bean starch, they're also really resilient to breaking. And let me assure you that glass noodles have no flavor of their own. So this is going to end up tasting very much like the classic pad thai that you're looking for. It's just a different texture and mouthfeel. Okay. Okay, it's mostly dry. I'm gonna turn the heat down a little bit, push all this to one side, add my last little bit of oil here for the eggs. So the process is exactly the same as you would with rice noodles. So there's no need to relearn anything if you've already made that before. Break the yolks a little bit, scramble this slightly, and then I'm gonna put all this on top and let the eggs cook under the noodles and give them time to marry each other. Woohoo! That's pretty much done. If this is your first time, stop the wok, taste the noodles. If they're a little too firm, add a little water and cook it a little bit more. Again, it's really forgiving. You can take your time to adjust. I've done this so many times. I know that I'm ready to go in with my vegetables, which are bean sprouts. Lots of bean sprouts. More bean sprouts than you think. This is what's going to keep this dish from being heavy and gloopy. And also garlic chives, More garlic chives than you think. And of course, some peanuts, which I have opted to pound. So I get a lot of sort of peanut dust, which sort of mixes in better with the noodles. Instead of just chopping them, a good pound is advised. Oh my God, I forgot my shrimp. And I want to add my shrimp here so any remaining shrimp juice that's collected can be mixed in with the noodles. I'm off heat because the last thing you want at this stage is for the bean sprouts to be overcooked and wilty. You want to keep them crunchy and crispy so that they can work to lighten the noodles as they should. And that is it! How beautiful does that look? Let's eat. Whew. Look at that. My trick or advice for plating pad thai is to make sure the first plate especially, you get all the bits which always fall to the bottom. And then if you're not careful, all the bits will end up in the second plate and all the noodles in the first plate. Classic garnish, a wedge of lime, a little extra peanuts on the side, a little pile of chilies, and that's it. You always want to have a little bit of lime, even though, to be honest, my sauce is pretty spot on. It barely needs it. Oh, hits a spot. Let me try the shrimp. Got all the flavors that you love of pad thai, exactly the same. It's just a different kind of noodles that's much easier to work with, but I promise you, you will not miss the other one. Another reason that you should absolutely use head-on shell-on shrimp, even if you don't make the shrimp fat, is because head-on shell-on shrimp taste better. They really do. And the reason is they have had less chemicals treated. So the texture is different from peeled frozen shrimp. It's more tender, it's less bouncy, it's just more natural. And if you try it, you will know what I mean. So I hope you give this a try. If you had any trouble with pad thai before, this will make it so much better. And if you've never had trouble with pad thai, try this anyway. You might find that this is the one you like better. So the recipe, as always, will be on hotthaikitchen.com, and a special thanks to our Patreon supporters who help support the show. If you want to know what that's all about, I'll put the link in the description below. Thank you as always for watching, and I will see you next time for your next delicious Thai meal.